The second month of this fiscal year, which is the month of May, has brought cheers to Motown. Maruti Suzuki, the largest passenger car manufacturer in India, reported a total vehicle sales of 178,000 units in the month of May, registering a rise of 10.32% as compared to 161,000 units sold in the same month last year. Toyota Motors also witnessed a twofold surge to 20,410 units in the month of May, its highest ever in a month. The automaker had dispatched 10,216 vehicles in the same month last year. Bajaj Auto reported a total sales of more than 3 crore units in the month of May, registering a growth of 29%. Big numbers coming in there, and very, very positive as far as auto sector is concerned, from two-wheeler to passenger cars. It is a reflection, Krishna, of how well the economy is doing. It is a reflection that people have enough purchasing power. They're not just buying passenger cars, they're also buying two-wheelers, which is a big indicator of rural consumption, rural demand, and how people in tier 2, tier 3 cities are spending money to buy vehicles.
No, fair enough, Vijay, except that, I see so many bikes and two-wheelers in the cities, in the big cities. There are enough and more, two-wheeler consumers in the big cities. I never understand how every single time we talk about two-wheeler consumption, we're always associated with rural consumption. Yes, but it's a fair point there that, a huge amount of two-wheeler consumption does come from the rural market. And
I'll purely, specifically, not from a point of view of class, but purely from the point of view of convenience. I come from Dehradun. It's easy for me to ride a two-wheeler there as opposed to ride a two-wheeler in Delhi.
See, we do exponential business news reporting over here. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying that, let's not also forget that every time we say the word two-wheelers, there's still enough and more of them buying them in the big cities. It's all about socio-economic strata at the end of the day, if you ask me. But the big trends, Shweta, really for me, is that one big trend. Let's begin with the bad news, which I saw. Exports are declining across the board. Two-wheelers, three-wheelers, company after company, three-wheeler makers or two-wheeler makers. Exports have seen a decline, which is not good news. But the good news from here on is that the domestic sales are up, three-wheeler sales are up, two-wheeler sales are up, and there's a nice trend in the three-wheeler business. In the passenger cars, as Shweta rightly pointing out, it's all about the passenger car demand that's really doing well. The SUVs have seen a turnaround. Maruti's SUVs, the Brezza, the Grand Vitara, all of them have seen a turnaround for Maruti, India's largest car maker, and that has been the case across the board as well. So the SUVs, the consumers are clearly preferring the SUVs, and the SUVs are driving the turnaround as far as the auto sales are concerned. Interestingly, all the smaller mini car variants of the Maruti stable, like the Espresso and the Alto, in fact, even, they've seen a drop in sales, 30% drop in sales. So clearly there's a consumer preference pattern that's emerging from all this. It's all about the SUVs of all shapes and sizes, and they're really doing well. And of course, as you're rightly pointing out, rural consumption, rural demand is doing well. That's the reason why you're seeing two-wheeler demand across the board. Bajaj Auto reporting fantastic numbers. Across the board, two-wheeler numbers have been very good. And in the car segment, it's all about the SUV story, Shweta, really.
Right, and that's very interesting. People are buying more and more big cars, SUVs, as opposed to hatchbacks, compact cars. That's an interesting trend to watch out for. And that shift in gear, so to say, to draw an analogy from what we've been tracking today, is primarily driven by the fact that people are hoping to ride a bigger vehicle. It's a class symbol. It's also a matter of convenience. All of that we'll discuss.
And also the fact of the matter is that it's SUV, right? It's a utility vehicle. They don't want the car to be so small that that has very little utility as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And those are big numbers, of course, coming in there. They are still coming in. We will come back on that story.